Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers, let's go.
It's Miss Reality Maddie Runkowski, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I mean, it's not as real as me, but you could listen to my episode.
That's my fireworks.
I like that. Kicking off Money in the Bank in the right way.
No, that was because this week was 4th of July.
I try to put that on my mind.
I do, too, most of the time. I really do. Shit's gonna go awry over here on my part of the studio whatever. Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. That is the fucking champion of champions, Sir Michael Jenks. I am the lonely loser, Mark the Mark.
Not a loser. Just wasn't your night.
The second place.
And just, if you're not first, you're last, but you're not a loser.
Okay.
It's a good time.
I went ballsy with
you
stuff.
Did.
I really, the two that we were different on, got my balls cut off. But we'll get there. We will get there. You're like, what the fuck are these two talking about on a wrestling podcast? If you've been here long enough, you know nothing. Not that you know nothing, that we know nothing. Jenks, how was your week, sir?
I know nothing either, so we're just off to a good start here. My week was good. Yeah, a little PSA for those that enjoy fireworks on the 4th and all of that. You don't need to start at 7:30 at night, let alone 10:30 in the morning. So just want to throw that out there to those that decide to shoot off fireworks. You're not going to be able to see them, so I don't know why you're being a dickhole. Outside of that, just dandy. Bah humbug for the holiday.
I'm the same way for this holiday because I thought I was in the clear, and everybody knows we record Friday nights and I was in the clear last night, and it's like 9:30. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be able to go to bed. And the Mickey, of course, is not going to shit all over the place because that's what happens when fireworks go off in this house. He gets scared, and he's 11, and he has some problems.
Yeah.
And then Max thinks he is ready to put on a suburban commando suit and go out and attack everybody. So between either holding Miggy and making sure he doesn't hear them because you're caressing them and trying to settle Max down who's ready to, fight, that all started at 10 o'clock last night. 10 fucking o'clock. And it lasted longer than the fireworks that the city or town that I live in put on 2 weeks ago when fucking Carnival's here. 45 minutes.
Oh my god. I tell you this, it went pretty much until about 1 o'clock in the morning here.
Isn't it? There's got to be a fucking ordinance for that. Come on.
They will
waive it for the.
They waived it, and they also, because they reinstated, you can have fireworks now in the city and set them off. Ever since they did that a few years ago, every Tom, Dick, and Harry setting off fireworks left and right.
Hellfire and fucking brimstone.
I remember the one time I drove across. You guys aren't going to know what this is. Mark probably remembers where this is, but 29th Street, driving west. It's a shaded area for the most part. Houses are close together, but you're driving through it, and it was just smoke filled at like 7 o'clock at night. It looked horrific.
Ominous,
horrific. Looked like you were hearing things go off, blazing. I've never been in combat, but I can only imagine that was kind of close to what that feeling was because it just looked just scary. Now, the last 2 nights, because they started July 3rd because everybody had off July 4th.
Yep.
They're shooting them off about a block south of where I live and right behind the house, on the street behind the house. So we're hearing it here, there, everywhere. You can see it over the tree line and see how close it is. Poor little Charlie, scared to death. He was under the bed for the majority until about 1:30 this morning when it finally ended and he could come up.
What a giant waste of money. And I've said this when we were at Seawolf City. I've said this when I was a child. I really was not a big fireworks. Nothing ever happened dramatically to me or anything. Yeah. But say it's a long show, 45 minutes to an hour or whatever. You are literally just fucking blowing up money.
Yeah.
At least if I drink for 8 hours, I'm drunk. I get something out of it. I get
feel
feel the pain or the goodness of whatever. So people are like, "Oh, you drink beer." Da, 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 da. You're right, but you get that one is probably $10,000. I don't know how much fireworks are, nor do I care. Don't comment. Don't send me shit about fireworks. And I'm not salty this week because I'm really great mood. You just brought it up to fireworks, and I'm like, man, this is. I could just care. I understand why we celebrate the holiday, but
yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Well, we celebrate the holiday because Britain blew the 13 colony lead that they had on us, and that's all that was to it. But I understand
the Yankees and the Red Sox.
I know, right? I understand people's.
Go ahead.
Hey, if you guys want to do it, shoot it off, go for it. Listen, my sister's friend, they put on massive fireworks shows every year behind their house. It's what they spend their money on, and more power to them. But for me, it's not about that.
Like them? Do you like them? Like, would you? Oh my God! It's fireworks night at the Yacht or PNC Park or whatever. Are you going because it's fireworks night?
No. If it was before, I'll say this: if it was before the Seawolves. Potentially, excuse me for that pause, it wasn't meant to be. But potentially before I worked at Seawolves, maybe, yeah, it probably could have been exciting. After you work at the Seawolves, you see it every homestand, which is every other weekend for 2 summers.
Right.
Plus, you're standing in the middle of the outfield dodging the fireworks coming at you. Then you have to pick it up. You get kind of tired of it after a while. So when I go to these events, it's more about seeing people, saying hi, socializing, and then I could care less about the fireworks displays, to be honest. And the way it affects the dogs is just that ended it for me because they get scared, they get really just want to be held, they want to be away from it as much as possible. So it gets me. It just is like it's not worth it.
No. When it's the town fireworks, and I know that this starts, and I told you that, we go over to, and I can't say it because they'll be biting at the bit, but we go over to an ice cream shop that has letters of D and Q in it. But that's out of town because that town's not shooting them. I can't get out of it on the 4th of July.
No.
Because if I go to that town, they might be shooting them too, and yada, 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 and then I would imagine driving through. I never had them in the car on the 4th of July. Would imagine that would just be more for them because it's more close. What's the word I'm looking for?
You could be driving right into it.
I could be driving right in them, but you're more
more confined.
Confined
space, yeah.
And it might. Their ears are different from ours, and this, that, and the other. I don't have to explain dogs to you, but yeah, I mean it could be worse inside of a vehicle for them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. 100%. That's why we try to get ours out as soon as possible. But see, with people shooting them off at 6, 7 o'clock at night, it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, we don't have time to get the dogs out because they're scared now. They're petrified. Poor Charlie, we tried to let him out what we thought was a break because it hadn't gone off in about 10 minutes last night. Walked right out the door, sure enough. And I'm like, motherfucker. And he's like, no, thank you. Come see me in the morning.
We aren't salty this week, honestly.
It was a good week. It was a good week.
It was a great week. It really was. Not for like personal reasons or anything. Because, well, first and foremost, I worked 4th of July. You know, garbage men's only get 1 day off a year. It was only a half day. So as recording, I decided today was also going to be a half day because they got wet this morning and they got really hot. Mark doesn't do good on either one of those, and I have plenty of hours, so I'm like, I'm going home. They're like, there's only 3 people here. I said, well, now there's 2. And I went home.
See you later.
And you know what I did when I came home, Jenks? I did
Absolutely nothing.
Do. Well, no, I Johnny on the spot over here. I did all the laundry that I normally do on Saturdays. I did this, I did that. I don't know what I'm going to do as you guys are listening to this now tomorrow because all my chores are done around the house. So I think I just opened my weekend up.
A lot of hunting is going to happen.
Well, I'm just a dad playing video games. We'll just leave it at that little tagline, and we'll see what to come here in the near future.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We'll find out. But I am getting set up because this week dropped some, this is the hottest fucking topic we're going to talk about. Then we'll talk about wrestling, promise. Jenks, everything about the Dynasty on EA Sports College Football 25 is out. I've changed my mind again.
Uh-oh. Why? You want to play early?
No, I'm not buying it.
Okay.
I'm not buying it ahead of time. Because of all those reasons that I said in work, and I couldn't get any more days off anyway because retirements, injuries, and people quitting. I fucking don't have. I don't know when I'm going to get my vacation in all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just like I'm leaving once some stuff are done. My first game will be a play now game. That's stuck in my head. I got to do that before I start Dynasty. Shake some of the rust off, do whatever. I might just do the create a coach and see where they hire me and do the build. You know, they'll give the way that it sounded like on the Dynasty thing for me is they're going to throw a job at you right off the bat.
Yeah.
My goal is and will be to get to Pitt. I know you can just pick it right off the bat and but I want to build my coach to be ready for Pitt.
Okay.
You know, Jenks knows you're not going to be a great coach as soon as you go in. I'm not starting at an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. Fuck that. That's below me. I'm kidding.
That's below me.
But I'm going to start at a head coach somewhere, have it be the Sun Belt, have it be someplace like that, do a couple years there to see, maybe build. It's going to be the dynasty of a coach first for me compared to the dynasty. Oh my God, Music Man's kicking my ass all of a sudden. Before dynasty of a team. I got 30 years to do everything. I think I want to make it about me, my first go around. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. Make me the greatest coach that's ever been out there, bringing, Sun Belt championships and MAC championships, and maybe if I have to go to the Pac-12, and I am realigning shit right off the get-go, to get to the ACC, But, yeah, I'm going to start little, and I'm going to let them see what offers come to me, essentially.
Okay.
Instead of just picking and going.
That's fair. I mean, to that point.
Until next week, something else comes out.
We're going to do this. Road to Glory's first. No, but I don't disagree with that tactic because my thought was my true rebuild program, when I do that, is not going to be right out the gate.
Right.
We mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do a couple play now games when I get it, but I'm also going to sit there and be like, okay, what the fuck do I need to do in Dynasty? How does this actually operate? Because you can DM players, you can look at their social media, they can verbally commit and then go sign somewhere else. So, to me, I need to see, not have the learning curve in my true rebuild. I gotta figure out what the fuck is happening in this thing first and get the feeling out process, not a couple of seasons out there, then move into the rebuild. So I think I'm definitely going to stick. I don't think it's going to be Group 5. I think it might be like maybe a decent Power 5 or something, or like, I don't know where I'm going to land. It's not going to be like your powerhouses and just be dominant from day one.
Nebraska. You're in
could be
the
Nebraska. Could
yeah.
be Nebraska. Could be Vandy. Could be, whatever.
Settle down on Vandy.
Could be a Sun Belt champion too. Conference champion. Just build something up to kind of move forward. I still don't have the team in mind yet because, like I said, I got to just look at every single helmet this thing has to get. You got to get the feel. Who feels right? Who's the right fit? It's going to be a long, tedious process come July 19th morning to kind of just get a feel out of.
July 19th morning is going to be at midnight for me. Like, that's going to be my play now game. That's going to be my look at everything game. Do this, do that, kind of scope the whole thing. Take a couple hour nap, wake my ass up 5 o'clock in the morning on the Friday, and then see you Monday.
Yeah. Right now I already have to buy another hard drive because I'm maxing out space on mine with just the limited number of games I have because Red Dead takes up a fucking million, and so does God of War. So I'm going to buy an external hard drive in the next 2 weeks, but it's going to be so beautiful when it comes.
Yeah, I have to buy a camera in the next 2 weeks. Just saying.
Camera?
Yep. That PlayStation camera. I'm just a dad playing video games. That's just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
Just saying.
What else did you like about the deep dive? I mean, it really is. Let me say this first. I don't know if I'm going to be a motivator, tactician, or a great recruiter right off the bat. That's also going to be a feel thing that morning. But I love that your offensive and defensive coordinators actually mean something. They're not just there. Like, if you're a great motivator and a great tactician, well, you're not going to be great at recruiting. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to get a great offensive or defensive coordinator to do that for you. I love how the whole coaching staff means something. It's just not you that's going to be able to pick everybody at 5 stars once you're good.
Yeah. I think that's a nice little twist to it, too. And I like that they're bringing in the branching trees that they have in Madden. So it's only going to be a focused area. So you pick one, that's your branch, and you're sticking to that. So you pick boosted quarterbacks over running backs. That's where you're at. That's what your coordinator does. I think that'll be a nice little twist on things to kind of, to your point, make it truly a unique experience in trying to figure out how many people actually try to balance what they have. Because I'm betting a lot of people are going to be like, well, I need a tactician to be a tactician. Not necessarily. How are you going to get the talent in there if you can't recruit worth a shit?
How can you get them to play if you can't motivate?
Exactly. So there's a lot to play here, but I'm loving it.
I am. I really am. There's just, like, we could spend the whole show talking about NCAA this week because so much came out. I'm excited for Road to Glory to drop next week as well, but not as much. That's a phase that I'm going to play in a year. Yeah, unless it blows me away, I know, unless something just blows me away this coming week when they drop it. It's been about Dynasty. We've said it for years. I do have one bitch to say, though, about what was dropped. So Road to Glory doesn't have me juiced up yet. I'll play it, but it's way down the line.
Yeah. Well, what's your bitch?
The team builder is only online. I don't like that I just can't build Can Crusher U or Martinez U and throw them in and let me build them without having to play online against you or people that will continue to kick my ass. Listen, I'm just a dad playing games. That's all I want to be.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I like the team builders coming back, but if we're going to be restricted in how we can play it, it kind of defeats the purpose. Because I want to pick up, your point, Can Crushers University, drop it in the dynasty, drop it in a run, let them run, build this thing up. Listen, Can Crushers University, when it drops into a dynasty mode, is basically Kennesaw State right now. Right. The true build, true rebuild. But it's good with the bad right now, I think. And I think it's because they don't own it that they can't make it work.
Yet.
The only thing, that's the only thing I can think of. Also,
I don't want to say they rushed this because we've been talking about it for 2 years. There's some things that are like, listen, we know 98.79% of people want to do Dynasty. Mm-hmm. We need to get that right first, or there's not going to be EA Sports College Football 2026, 27, because people are like, what the fuck did you just do?
And it's be smart about how you approach it. It's taking a very agile approach. Okay, we got to release Dynasties are a big thing. We're putting all our money, everything into that. We'll release patches to make everything else good, but next year it's probably more of a focus on Road to Glory or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of deal that they had to do for Ultimate Team to make that, and it's probably spit shiny and all that shit. But again,
it doesn't do anything.
This motherfucker ain't going anywhere near it. So
ever.
I have no point to it.
Yeah. The packs that I get that night from pre-ordering, they're just going to sit there. I'm not even going to open them.
I might open them just to see, how are you trying to entice me today?
Yeah.
You know?
I get it. So, yeah, you're going to hear more next week, and Jenks and I are, just to let you know, on July 20th, it will be a special show. We're going to give you my top 5 themes, my 5 worst themes. Jenks will do the same thing. Mm-hmm. We're doing some due diligence on that. We're excited about that. Sidebar, I'm trying to record a lot of spotlights ahead of time as well, so that week of this game coming out, we don't have to do anything. Honestly.
You can truly be a dad just playing video games.
Right? Truly. A lot is leaving work early and just coming home and being a dad playing video games.
Exactly.
I hope you guys did have a chance to listen to this week's Spotlight with CeCe Young. It was a blast. Back down to North Carolina again to talk to a sensational wrestler. If you haven't watched any of her clips or anything, make sure go and listen to the Spotlight, follow her and see, because I really think sooner than later, and I don't say this a lot, but I truly, sooner than later, you're going to see her PC, TNA, maybe some ROH, some dark stuff. She is unfucking believable. So I'll leave it at that. But go listen to the Spotlight, because we can
definitely listen. You gotta listen to it before she becomes famous.
Right.
And you can say, I heard about her first. From Cane Crushers.
I'm down in the trenches getting these all set up for you guys.
You're doing Wrestling God's work right now. That's what it is.
Hot topics on wrestling now. You have any?
That wasn't a hot topic. We're not going on that one.
It was a hot topic, but
do I know? Hey, we don't cover ROH that often, but congratulations to the Maximum Male Models for showing up on ROH and being part of Ring of Honor. That's pretty nice. So they've broken their own forbidden door, apparently.
They really have. I do have one. I hope everybody on the 4th of July, because I pre-posted stuff ahead of time, but I went down a rabbit hole of some wrestling stuff this week. Everybody loves Joe Hendry.
Yep.
And listen, I only saw Joe Hendry when he did a quick run-in at AEW, and then all of his TNA Impact stuff. I've noticed him. Somebody from a couple years ago created his top 5 entrances from IWC. It's not
International Wrestling Cartel. Yeah.
Not international wrestling.
No, yeah. But you know what I meant. Yeah.
But yeah, ICW, maybe? Me, I think
it might
it's
be ICW. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll get it right.
Yeah, whatever. But holy fuck, are they hilarious. Absolutely. Taking songs that you know from your childhood or present day, turning them into entrances about whoever he's feuding with or whatever. Nothing against TNA again, but he needs to be on AEW or WWE yesterday now. And let him do that shtick again, because they gave 5. Jenks, I'm telling you, I know you haven't seen it because you didn't like it. And I'm not saying it mean, because you didn't like it because you would have rolled off your fucking chair.
I probably just didn't see it. I didn't see it on your feed.
It was on the Can Crusher's feed, but that's all right.
I know, I didn't see it.
Go find it.
I'll go find it.
Or I'll send it to you. Wait,
no, I'll find it.
Unfucking believable. Cheesy.
That has to be good. Well, yeah, but it's
cheesy.
But I'm not surprised by this development, because when he walked into PC and just tore everybody apart and owned that place of NXT, it's like he should have been signed 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What Tony Khan did with him,
Shame on him.
Shame on him, because he would be one of his biggest stars right now.
Yeah. His wrestling's good too, but his character and gimmick would make millions outside of TNA.
Here's
and I hate to say it that way.
Well, no, that's accurate. Because, here's the thing. If you're very entertaining, you're going to be very good, regardless how good you are in the ring. Like, people that are good in the ring, a lot of people that are really good on the mic can be mediocre in the ring, and people just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised whatsoever. I got to look this up.
Unbelievable. Other than that, I mean, we have a pay-per-view to cover. We have a lot of wrestling to cover. We have predictions to cover.
We got a lot going on. Somehow, some way, we're going to cover almost everything?
Hopefully.
Is that everything?
Mostly everything.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Quick paying the bills. How fast can we do this? I'm watching the timer right now, because I really mean it fast. Listen, it's 4th of July, everybody had off, so we're going to give you off somewhat of paying the bills as well. Collar and elbow. Our promo code is Can Crushers. All one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, you save 10%.
Yeah. Or you can also do WWE Shop affiliate code that's in the show notes right now. Click on it. You might not save money, but you'll at least help out the show by clicking on it.
Don't forget, we have merch over at CrowdMade as well. When you go to CrowdMade, type in Can Crushers, and you'll see our merch.
You can listen to us everywhere across the board, Spotify, iHeart. I don't need to list them all. You know what podcasting networks we can fill your ear holes in, including Podurama. Go there to see what discounts you can pick up now.
W is great. It keeps me rocking and rolling all day long. It's a wonderful energy drink. No crash, no calories, no carbonation. Check out your favorite flavor over at W and use Can Crushers to save 10% there as well.
There you go. You can find us on X, gonna give it to you, Facebook, maybe Threads, or YouTube as well. You can listen to our lovely voices there as well. Social media, we have you covered.
We do. Send us an email at cancrusher69@gmail.com.
Or call us at 814-299-6687.
There you go. We'll be back, and listen, there's no knocking on a door. We're fucking breaking right through Forbidden Door when we get back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is yours oh so truly, Mr. Kind of a Big Deal, the gracious gift, your man's Isaiah Zane, and I need you guys to go subscribe to Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, folks. We hope you enjoyed our NCAA talk. We always get it out of the way first.
The NCAA portion of this podcast.
This is a wrestling podcast, and we have a ton to cover here on Can Crushers this week. And the new Can Crushers six-pack champion, Sir Michael Jenks. Oh, fucking too sweet. Yeah.
Throw up the two sweets. You know, it was a long time since they had my title.
It was 2 months.
It's cold. I was getting cold.
My reigns aren't long anymore, which bothers me. Losing my touch.
Listen, when I'm firing on all cylinders, I'm just firing on all cylinders. That's all I can say.
You really are firing all cylinders right now, and I'm jealous. You were, I believe you were perfect, but we'll go through it. Jenks, let me tell you about Forbidden Door. Oh, no, I guess I'm not.
Bailey wants her own time about Forbidden Door.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I don't think it was their best pay-per-view. Like,
It wasn't going to be.
No, I know. And we know crossover ones from the 80s are never. There's some stuff I really enjoyed, but then there's some stuff I'm like, holy fuck, it's 12:30. I want to go to bed.
Why did I stay up?
Yeah.
Do all of that. Oh, yeah.
The main event.
Well, the main event aside. Well, yeah. But there was times in the interim that it was like, ugh, how do I get back? How do I get to the main event?
Yeah. Exactly. In 0 hour was that.
0 hour, I was convinced, was just there to make people feel like they were a part of something. They were a part of something. That was it.
Listen, we find out. We're going to cover everything, right? You watched everything, right?
Yeah.
The whole kit and caboodle. Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico. Listen, again, we follow our issue. We don't talk about it enough. Fletcher drops the ROH TV Championship earlier in the week. Oh, you knew he was getting. Plus, it was Serpentico.
Yeah.
Give me something. There was nothing here.
You're going to tell me they had no plan to bring Pentagon Jr. or whoever, I can't remember who he lost it to. I think it was Pentagon Jr. to be honest, but you couldn't bring him to Forbidden Door to do this match. You couldn't bring somebody, just have him face Phoenix. I don't care. Just find somebody. Serpentico, literally, I've not heard his name in about 8 months.
Right.
So I don't know what drawer they pull him out of, but they did. And then Fletcher's squash match on 0 hour. Let's get Fletcher something else.
The 4-way tag team match. Listen, House of Black we love.
Yeah.
Undisputed Era doesn't have anything anyway. They have nothing going for them. Nothing.
Fell off the face of the earth.
I loved O'Reilly and Ishii.
Oh, yeah.
Keep Ishii for a partner with O'Reilly the whole time. I don't know why. This is because O'Reilly is so good at being stupid. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
His mannerisms when he's mocking somebody else. He was a little Ishii.
Kyle O'Reilly has to be one of the most underrated people in all of professional wrestling. He's just, the comedic timing, he plays off the goofiness 100% of the time. Hell, even his selling, he's had perfect selling where he just over-animates it a little bit, and it's just the right touch.
Sorry, I got something in my Crime Time autograph.
I saw you go weird.
Hugging me right now, so I'm wiping it off. I don't know if I opened a beer last week like an idiot. Sorry.
This is how boring I am. This is like
the
boringness I have
my
going
eyes.
on.
Guys.
Just kidding. But you're right. I think O'Reilly is one of the most underrated talents out there because of the goofy shit he does and then the mastery that he puts on in the ring itself.
I didn't have anybody but House of Black winning this, by the way. Not that it was for anything or anything.
Well, there's two thrown together tag teams from AEW and New Japan. Then it was Private Party.
Oh yeah, they were in it too.
If House of Black wasn't winning this, then I would have been completely shocked and awed.
Stat and Momo against Willow and Tom. Tom.
Yeah.
I know it's Tom.
Yeah.
We said this was going to happen, and we both picked Stat and Momo.
We did.
I was shocked. Like,
I was too. I was shocked this entire week with this whole storyline.
right.
But we'll get to that part. Nothing. Just getting Willow the boost, an extra boost again. Willow's just steamrolling this now.
Well, I think it's because, and hold that thought.
I know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of who she's going to face down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't want Stat to fall back down into, like, she was just, last year she was your Woman of the Year and everything on the Crushies. Like, she carried it for a while, and she still had it when her and Willow were together, but I don't know if I like Bad Stat, or I like Bad Stat, but Stokely needs to leave.
They need Bad Stat to gain wins with Stokely. I think that's what they need. Well, like, I know that's blatantly obvious, but to me, it could work very well, but if you're not going to put momentum behind her, then it's going to die in the water. You know what I mean? So they have to be willing to give her that boost. I like Will picking up the win here, but Stat, to your point, Stat's going to fall behind real quick. And what's she going to be wallowing in cesspoolness in like 3 months?
Yeah, because
it's not good.
More to come later with a return if you don't know.
Yeah.
So there's somebody locked. There's 2 people locked in both divisions, essentially, for the women that are the next catalyst for those titles.
Yep.
I loved Mariah and Saraya, though, in the Owen match, and I thought it was going to be quick because Mariah came out balls of fire and just going and everything. I'm like, they're going to give her a win over Saraya. Listen, I know they fought before. Mariah's really not the rookie that they're playing her out on AEW.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I talked to her when she was over in Stardom. Go way back in the annals of listen to that. You know, she's been around for a while. She's young in the business, but she's not an understudy. Let's just leave it at that. But this would have been a big, huge pay-per-view win, and it ended up being a big win if it was quick. And I'm like, holy shit, they're really not burying Saraya because she's a legend, essentially, in AEW. But it's a nice notch in the belt for Mariah if it would have been quick. The back and forth helped, and then Mariah getting the win was nice.
Yeah. I'm going to be that guy. Saraya needs something.
Oh,
like, I get she's the legend and all that, but when you're hindered by Harley and you're not winning anything, you're just kind of showing up to job to people left and right. I get legends put people over and make people big, but there wasn't really a program with this. It was a 3-on-3 match, and then we swiftly came into the Owen Hart. Saraya just looks like she's there to take losses left and right, and that's about it. When just under a year ago, she was literally at the top of the mountain winning the AEW's women's title. I get it was for a feel-good moment in London, but you would think she'd be carrying some sort of momentum or be involved in something somewhere.
Seeing that they're going back over here in about a month?
Yeah.
She's not going to have a match over there?
It's probably going to be a 0-hour match at this point. It's going to be a Fletcher Serpentico style match at this point.
And that's again where we'll go back to, I don't know, was it a year ago, book better matches for women?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they're giving the mains their shine. Tony and Mercedes and whom returned is going to get great shines, and it's going to be talked about all the time. You can have great feuds or stories in not include a title. Yeah. Saraya can tell a story. Just like you said, she's not telling anything. And it's not her. This is completely on booking for her.
It's been on booking for her the entire run. since she created the Outcast, that just completely did nothing for anybody involved with it. And Toni Storm actually got better when she left the Outcast. So to me, it just feels like they don't know how to approach a legend status for a woman in this company. I mean, they don't know how to do it for men either, but that's a different story for a different time.
Right. Agreed. And then your main event, essentially a 0 hour, LIJ against the Lucha Brothers and Mystico, or whatever hell you call them. What was his name in WWE again?
Sin Cara.
Yeah. Sin Cara. Listen, this was all over the place, and I know I'm that guy that says most of the time I can't get into it. I personally do not give Fenix enough, because what he did in this match was unfucking believable. It was an amazing showcase. I'm glad that they let it be more lucha style, just fucking come in. There's no way, and I didn't go back to rewatch it or anything like that, but I know I lost track of who was official people at some point. 100%. There's no possible way anybody remembered who was official in that match.
There was absolutely... It was so fucking ridiculous. How many times did it break down? 25 at least?
But it was good. There was a story within the match for it to break down. It wasn't just... there was spots, but it wasn't... for me, as a 47-year-old, it felt like it wasn't a spot fest for a spot fest. Everything made sense in the match for me.
Well, that's what the beauty of freaking Lucha Libre is. They'll tell the proper story for the match instead of, I just need to do this really cool move because I think it's a really cool move and I think I should do it. Right? How many times the boy Sammy Guevara has been... That's literally his MO.
It is.
I'm gonna be a spot monkey here and hope I don't die, guys.
Or kill Matt Hardy.
Kill Matt Hardy, kill Jeff, kill Sting, whatever it is. I just want to see, to me, it was beautifully done, but I think they also need to understand, because this drove me up a wall. I think it was Yoda Tsutsui I don't even know how to say it. Yoda was fucking laughing the whole time. And
he was
ready. He was having fun.
He
was on pay-per-view and he was having fun. And he must have pissed the Lucha Bros and Mystico, oh my god. Mystico off, whatever the fuck it is. Mystico, I don't know why I can't talk.
Sin Cara
off. Because at the end of the match, they were ready to kill him because he kept jumping on the apron, laughing at him.
Yeah.
I need to know more about this madman.
Right.
Is this a gimmick or is this just him? I'm living my best life right now. YOLO.
He needs to be in the TNT mix. He needs to be in something. I love him.
He's literally the Joker at this point.
Yeah.
But, no, this was a very good match. It laid down the line. It was perfect to T. And if this would have been the only match on 0 Hour, I would have been fine with that.
And we sucked in 0 Hour, by the way. We both picked CMLL to win. We got that wrong. We got Mariah right. So that we went, because we didn't know about the Lucha, we didn't know about the tag team match or the Kyle Fletcher match.
Right.
Because we also got Stat and Momo wrong as well.
Yeah.
But you won the night, so it doesn't really matter. Then we get to the main card.
Nobody counts pre-show anyways.
Right. We were gonna, but
Yeah, I don't know.
MJF against
Hechicero.
Yeah, I spelled it.
I learned how to say it. The way I paid attention to his name at the first 5 minutes of that match.
MJF seems like, from injury, he's quicker. He definitely looks stronger.
Yeah.
But he looks like he did some cardio stuff or something, or quickness stuff. Like he wore those NBA shoes from like the 80s that make you jump more or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or whatever. Yeah. He looks so fucking good. Yeah, but nothing out of this match. I mean, listen, we know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we knew it was going to go somewhere. I just can't believe the fucking Brainbuster is the finish to the match.
Right?
And maybe that's because we've seen Brainbusters for the past 30 years be used as just secondary moves. I mean, it hasn't been since Tully, somebody who's been throwing around a Brainbuster, and it actually worked.
Yeah.
As a fucking finisher.
It's been a setup for something else.
Exactly. It's usually just a quick down and dirty, I'm going to drop you, and then we'll go do something out of it. Even later, I think later in the night, somebody dropped one, and it was a 2 count instantly.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much it's undersold. So for me, I think, to your point, it didn't really do anything to the overall gimmick of MJF or help build him up a little bit. I think it was just a way to get him on his first pay-per-view card and get the face stuff out of the way for what was to come.
Right. Everybody listen, what's to come is unbelievable.
Mm.
The Acclaimed and the Scissor King against the Elite, and what? They called him the Scissor King?
I gotta stop here. The amount of laughter just Matt and Nick Jackson's got out of Kimberly.
Really?
Yes. She loved that video package that started it all. And she, I can't remember what they called Bowens, but when he was just shaking his jowls trying to do the scissors, she was howling at that.
Did you love when they broke the air guitar? I
Yes.
fucking died.
Oh, I was laughing.
Died when they broke the air guitar.
Laughing the whole time.
Side note, if you're going to WrestleCade this year, the Acclaim has just signed on this week to be at WrestleCade.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Oh, I'm getting scissored, baby. This was pure chaos as well.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, pure chaos. And it lost me. Because I'm like, it was good, and we both picked the Elite because we said down the line, the Acclaim will get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
I just, there was a lot of craziness. There really was. Not pure lost me, but just lost me a little bit. I'm like, all right.
I think for me, it was more about what was told at the end. The fact that Okada got the win over Tanahashi with a Rainmaker, continued their long sword rivalry. Great. But it also put it on the Elite hasn't technically pinned the Acclaimed yet.
Right.
The Young Bucks haven't pinned the Acclaimed. So that kind of sets up when that title match actually happens, it's going to be even bigger if they actually beat the Elite or if the Elite beat the Acclaimed. Whatever happens there, it's going to be a big to-do. And they can put a lot on that to ride forward with. So I thought that was the telling story from it. To your point, yeah, it got messy a lot. It was just a mess. It was just one of those matches where it got messy, and it was what it was.
Do you think my picture with the Acclaimed, I'm going to have the AEW tag team titles in it?
Yes.
I do too. And we'll leave it at that. I think this match isn't for a while.
I hope they call you Daddy Crusher and say, "Scissor me, Daddy Crusher," because I think that would be fucking highlight.
Mark the Mark is officially gone then, if they say that.
Like, you gotta, now, I think at this point, you have to set up a tattoo appointment and get scissors.
Well, I have the barber shears, but...
Yeah, but you gotta get their scissors on you, and then you could get a sign, and then get that tattooed on it. If you want it.
I guess it should happen, right?
I mean, I'm just saying, if you get the Acclaimed, you might get scissored if you have
scissors. More than scissored.
If you have the Acclaimed tattoo on you.
It'll fit. It'll fit somewhere. Next match, Jesus fucking Christ, Danielson and Shingo. I bitched it. I'm like, why do we have an Owen match on a pay-per-view?
That's why. That's why.
Yeah. Woo! I'll tell you though, and I know it probably is story, especially after this week, but I'm playing not watching Dynamite yet. I really thought Danielson fucked up his shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, because
he sold that.
Yeah.
Top tier selling.
I'm like, what the fuck are they going to do? What's going on? Like, he fell backwards inside out. And I'm like, oh man, this is not good.
Mm-hmm. He's selling the shit out of that.
I don't like the verbal tap though. I understand he had them all tied up and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Your wrist can move, say something, because only the people in the front row saw it. The way the camera was, like they had to explain that it was a verbal tap way too much.
Yeah.
That's my big beef with this.
Yeah, and that could have been on Shingo, because I think, to me, you would just try to move your head, try to be like, end it, whatever it is.
It's insignificant.
It's little things that, but to your point, when you have such a good match, it comes down to the little things to put it over the top.
Yeah.
Right? And that was one of the little things that could have made it even better. Or if he just passed out. I love a pass out ending.
Yeah.
But,
agreed. Because it wasn't an I quit match. You don't have to say I quit.
You don't have to say I quit, apparently.
Right. This may be in the mention for me, because I loved it that much. This may be in the mention. I don't know if it's going to get my top 3, but it's honorable, because that's how much I liked it. I was just, I didn't know. We've had our predictions about what Danielson's going to do in this whole tournament. This just threw a loop in it, though. I'm like, oh. So, I don't know.
Didn't breach for top 3 for me. I'd say outside 5.
Yeah.
It'll probably be top 10.
Yeah.
It'll probably be top 10, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah. AEW title match. Tony versus Mina. I love that they made Mariah not come down with anybody, and she was in the ring to give the flowers. So you were instantly, this is where Danielson match started a pay-per-view for me, essentially. Yeah. And the next going is all great. They kept Mariah away from both of them right off the bat. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Tony coming out is fucking Lady Liberty to America the Beautiful. Unbelievable. May was still conflicted when she wanted to give the flowers away. Who do I give it to first, essentially? Then you went to... I loved all of that. The full DDT off the top rope. Holy Christ. This was a great match. I now need to go watch more, because we know how great Tony is. And a lot of people know probably how great Mina is. I need to go watch more Mina matches for myself, because it took 2 to dance this great on Sunday night.
I said the same thing to myself. I need more Mina matches. I need to find out what exactly besides this small sample size, right? To your point, this far exceeded what my expectations on the match were, because it was such a goofy storyline, and we gave it shit last week for the over-sexualization and that. We were like, this has just gone down too far, yada, yada, yada. We thought it was going to be more of a turning point for Mariah to turn on Mina and then go to Tony. Didn't turn out like that at all. It was, we have a mutual respect now, whatever you think that is.
They all did. There was a three-way kiss.
There was a three-way kiss on that. So everybody loves each other now, which I think was a better ending than what could have been.
I agree. I completely agree, because it could have went down to Pornhub.
It could have.
We want.
We'd had a screw job. We could have had it all across the board, but really they kept it simple, to the point, and moved on. And that's kind of where it had to be. It had to reside there. So now, when we're seeing what, Mariah does against Shida later on, I'm losing it now. I think from that perspective, I think it elevates Mariah more by the acting that she had to do in this match to kind of show, to your point, I'm playing the middle ground. I don't have a favorite. The throwing of the roses and that. We're getting other elements instead of in-ring elements and in-ring wins.
We're getting a story.
Exactly. We're getting good storytelling and someone able to drive a story forward. Tony's been able to drive a story forward. Mariah is now a second woman that can drive a story forward because the way she's acted over the past couple weeks, being basically the woman in the middle that they're fighting over, has kind of told a story that really shows that once she gets past this Tony business, she can carry this on further than what has been laid out.
When we get Mariah against Mina?
I think next Forbidden Door. Unless Mina, somehow her contract expires and she comes to AEW.
Oh, they have a work. I think they
have a working relationship, but to that point, Mina's contract comes up in like 6 months, say.
Right.
They'll make a play, bring her in, and then you could have that whole storyline play out for whatever.
For whatever. I like how you said that. Great match. Honestly, a great match. I love the way it ended. So then we get the Orange against Sabre Jr., and this is one of the ones that separated us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this was so technical with the reversals and the false finishes, and I just love the way it ended again. It was crazy, but perfect ending for both of these two.
I agree. I think it ends up being... I think you were right. I believe you said this last week or week before. Cassidy's on to bigger and better things. And this was, even though he lost, this was his way of showing that he can do more, be more. Now, that Zack Sabre, we know, has been a craftsman.
Unbelievable, yeah.
In the ring. Unbelievable craftsman in the ring. The fact that OC kept going with him, hold for hold, whatever it is, it was a wrestling clinic, only to end up losing by pretzel, basically being turned into a pretzel, shows the chops that OC has.
Nope. This next match I could care less about.
Okay.
Yeah. I will talk about Team Hook against Team
Hook versus Jericho. I think the only thing in this match that was worthwhile, and you can correct me on this if you want, was the ending. It was the Judas Effect ending.
Yeah.
Because
that caught me off guard.
I agree. That caught me way off guard. And I was like, oh, this actually makes it a little bit interesting now.
We both had nobody.
We had nobody?
Did
we picked this one.
Oh, we picked Team Joe.
Yeah.
But I put Team Hook down.
Oh, okay.
Because Hook got the win. Yeah, we both got this right, and essentially probably go back and listen to what we said, why it just makes sense. Because, listen, Jericho and Hook are going to redo this all again.
Right. They're going to dance it all in, basically. Yeah. But I would like them to book Joe versus Jeff Cobb.
Yes. Yeah, that
I think that...
I don't want that to be a 0-hour match.
I want that to be an all-in first match.
Yeah, it can be, because that's just something I've been drooling for.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Cobb is the new Joe. And I know 100%. He's been in the business for a long time. I saw him at IWC, this, that, and the other. But I really want that match.
Yeah, that match is going to feed.
We get to the ladder match, and I say this wholeheartedly.
Oh, boy.
There is nothing that we could say on my part about the fuckery, the death, the amazing yet stupid fucking spots that happened in this match. Oh my God, Jenks. I almost had a heart attack watching this match.
The spot monkey stupidity was on full display in this fucking match. From Briscoe jumping off the apron, the ladder on the apron, missing Perry, to fucking, let's turn this ladder, these fucking $2 ladders that they found at Dollar Tree.
Those were the worst ladders I've ever seen, by the way.
As soon as I saw them, I'm like, they're going to fucking hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Those were the shittiest looking ladders. I thought, why would
the
you
ladders that we're going to see tonight from WWE are going to blow them out of the water. Like, they're legit ladders. Like,
including the wooden ones that they pull out to break. Like, that's how bad those ladders look. Those janky-ass fucking ladders.
That sit-down powerbomb, I know there's a real move to it that Kushida...
Oh, the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Blue Thunder Bomb,
yeah.
That table was probably the greatest table to ever break. Like, it imploded and exploded at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know physics well, nor do I care. Don't come at me. I don't know how... they just hit it with the right inertia. There's your history lesson or what a physics lesson. Yeah. That was an amazing spot. Yet, I was like, he's fucking dead.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them.
El Phantasmo, Logan Paul went through that table like nothing. This might prove Takeshita might be the greatest of all time, and he's only, 29, 27, right. Whatever it is. Because to your point, it's all about how you land on those tables for them to break right. And that might have been the first table to perfectly just void itself everywhere. Lack of better terms.
Yeah, that's a great way.
Because it's just somebody hit it right.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've seen two tables hit right ever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
This was great.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is going to be in my mind tonight as I watch both Money in the Bank matches. And I know they're completely different matches. They're like, one's a title up and everything, one's a case. Yeah, on par, they're the same match.
Yeah.
But it's not the same company.
No.
They don't have the okay to do this shit that they just did in AEW and WWE. Yeah. This might be a match to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
It might be a spectacle of the year.
Yeah. Like, maybe.
Maybe.
But I'm just saying, like, we're gloating over all this. It's because of, and I'm going to say this mean, there's spots. Mm-hmm. There's spots that we're remembering. In 6 months, when we talk about this, we're going to forget about Forbidden Door. It's fresh on our mind right now.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Jack. We had that, and it makes perfect sense. Like, Jack was perfect.
Yeah. If it wasn't Jack, what are we doing?
If it wasn't Jack and it wasn't Takeshita, no disrespect to anybody else in that match, we would have been
no point.
Off the fucking walls this week.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What happens after the match is better than the match between Mercedes and Steph. I like Steph. I do. I need more Steph. And I like the match. I know. I'm not speaking mean about the match. I'm just saying, really, you understand. You know what I'm saying. Like, the match was great. But listen, what's it all in to come is even better with the return of Britt. Dynamite, with those two just talking, I'll spoil this, was unfucking believable.
Dynamite was the best show they've had all year.
Yeah.
This week.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I love this match. I really did. I love this match. Maybe Britt, and I don't mean this mean because I love Britt. Maybe Britt comes out Wednesday during the celebration. I think it took a little bit away from the match that Britt came out. And I love Britt. Britt could come to the house right now and join the podcast. She is in Punxsutawney tonight, by the way. I'm just saying, like, maybe this wasn't the time for Britt because these two fucking cooked. It was a banger. And I think Britt definitely overshadowed both of them.
We may need somebody to make this note that Mark has said that Forbidden Door was not the night for Britt to return after we both
I know
the past 5 months have said Britt's coming tonight.
I know.
Britt's coming tonight. You know
I
what I mean?
wasn't expecting, but we also shit on Mercedes for 6 months too.
We did, and they're punching us right in the face with it. We've given shit. Now, we started this giving shit about women, the titles, about storytelling, right? Outside of the titles. The titles are on fire right now with the stories being told.
Yeah.
But the outside of it, not so much. Somehow AEW needs to bring Stephanie to AEW and bring her into the fold. This was a masterclass.
Yeah.
In what women's wrestling should be. It was really good. It was great.
Yeah.
Top 2 of the night for me.
It's not being off of my top 2 for crushies, by the way.
Yeah. It did everything in more.
Yeah.
We talked about seeing more what Mina does, and you see what more Stephanie can do. Because this was just absolute greatness in the ring. Masterclass. The Brit thing, I think it's perfect because it's overshadowing the moment. We all know the match was great. Britt was out there to prove a point, to overshadow the moment, which is why Mercedes showed up during Britt's promo to talk about what she had been through on Wednesday and overshadowed that moment.
Right. They're having a great pissing match, by the way.
The pissing match is big. They're trying to figure out who's pissing farther, and it is fantastic because this is going to be the best women's match on the card at All In, and maybe the
possibly
best
for the year.
For the year, yes.
Agreed. And I'm all for that. I'm all for all of it. I'm now looking at Steph because, again, in 6 months, we're going to be like, oh yeah, Mercedes won that title, the TBS title, at Forbidden Door against and Britt came back.
Yeah.
I'm just, because it was such a great match, Steph is going to be like, oh, that girl from CMLL.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she gets full-time roster.
Yeah. 100%.
That's the only reason why the match was so great that I don't want her to be lost in the discussion.
Yeah.
That's all.
I would agree.
Yeah, I love the fucking piston match. Again, I'm on the chair. Fucking Bridge back!
I knew you were fucking celebrating. I could feel it 2 hours away.
Mox against NATO. We predicted this, and it was perfectly done. It was a good match.
Yeah.
I'm shocked there wasn't as much blood. There was a little trickle here or there, but I really thought we were going to get full Chrism faces and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, it was very much a letdown from that perspective, right? It was like, oh, we're not getting
you're the semi-main event or whatever.
Bloody it up.
Yeah. But it was a good match.
I feel like, here's the thing. 2 years in a row, NATO's been on this. And sometimes I just feel like he did better this time, but it just feels like he's there because he's contractually obligated to be there.
Yeah.
And I get he's older in age and whatnot, but to me, and I get that's part of his shtick too, is tranquilo and trying to be calm, cool, and collected. It just feels like he's just there to collect the title and get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, go get Mox has had the title over in the U.S. for a while.
Get it
back so he can lose it next week.
Yep. Lose it during G1.
Yeah. Okay. Can I wave to the fans during the match? Yeah, go ahead. It's not our show. Go ahead.
Do what you have to do. Do your eye thing and then be done with it.
Yeah. Then we get the main event. And I will eat crow. I picked Ospreay. I did. But I said, if Swerve wins, I'd be alright too. man, I am so happy now that Swerve won. And this match, yeah, I love all the callous crap that came out of this. I put, holy shit, what a fucking finish. I just, the holding him up at the finish and then just kind of letting him fall and hitting him with 75 drive-bys and all of that. Man, it just says, and I'm not in AEW or in the business or anything like that. That match, or just the way it unfolded in my mind, it was like so much respect from the greatest wrestler out there right now, Will Ospreay, to Swerve to say, let's go, let's cook, let's make this a match that will be talked about for a long time. And then, oh yeah, there's going to be about 95 fucking stories that comes out of this one match.
Will Ospreay certainly learned how to do business. And the fact that he lost clean to Swerve, despite everything with the Don Callis and bullshit, right, all that, he lost clean to Swerve. Like, his shoulders were to the mat because of Swerve. There's no other shenanigans going about. This was fantastic of a match. The knockout shot in the jaw of fucking the drive, this last call, whatever it's called, and the JML driver, it made it legitimized Swerve as the champion. And then it put Ospreay out of people's minds as a person that's going to get the title soon. Because if I firmly cemented, Swerve is a legitimate champion and was not just the placeholder for me to take the title off of him.
Yep.
That was this was the moment of the match. That was the moment of the match to prove Swerve is just not the flash in the pan championship holder until I can take it off of him. And I love that. I love that piece, and I love the clean finish of it because it made it 10 times better. It made Swerve and put him on the pedestal he should be on as the AEW World Champion. We all think we know how All In's going to end, but do we really?
Yeah. I don't know anymore.
I don't know either. So
by the way, this is a make of a trilogy, by the way. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Next one will go to Swerve via whatever. It's somehow, some way. And I'm not saying when, but I don't know when. We'll go to Swerve. Go to Ospreay, I mean. And then the third one will probably be a match of the year when it does happen. And I don't think it's for maybe 2 years.
I think every year we're going to revisit this once on a pay-per-view. Next time, Ospreay's champion. Gets the win. The final time, neither of them champion. It's just straight up. Yeah. We're dancing.
I'm okay with all of it. They could dance with a wet noodle, and I want to watch these two over and over.
Yeah.
It was just so much. And again, that's what got me until 12, quarter after 12. Yeah, and I'm like, overall, how many beers you giving this out of 6?
AEW World Title and TBS title match were the two upper echelon for me. That carries it to a 4. I can't get it over a 4 because there's a lot of things that were like, okay, move on.
The spots were great, but
it wasn't a storytelling thing. So I give it a 4 based on what we saw out there.
All week I was bouncing back and forth. I couldn't get it to 4.5 because of some of the stuff. And I know we normally don't go 4.5 or anything like that. So I'm going 4 as well. I really am. I would say it's a heavy pour on a 4.
Yeah.
A good pour. There's not a lot of foam, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
This was a great pour.
Yeah. This was great. However, as we transition to Dynamite now. Hoo-hoo-hoo. I know we don't rate TV shows.
This should have been the pay-per-view at this point. I mean, good God.
Right?
So, from beginning with Pac and Danielson to ending with MJF going full scorched earth.
I even loved the 3 minutes of Danny walking, talking about Will. I mean, it gave it away in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the downfall. It gave it away in the beginning, but I was like, I guess I might be late for work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I watched Dynamite live knowing there was a holiday we can show up whenever, do our shit that it didn't get the hell out of there. I watched it the whole way through, and I'm like, normally I'd either not watch any of it or, pass out, watch the other hour the following day. That 3 minutes of talk in the beginning kept me all the way to the end, and I'm so happy because you're right. Danielson and fucking Pac, the first action on TV, I wish that was the finals.
Yeah. It should have been the finals.
Right?
I think that's more believable finals.
I do too. I wish they would, for a match like this, not have fucking taken a commercial.
Yeah. Commercial free, let them cook. Because picture-in-picture does not do it for me. If it goes picture-in-picture, I'm not paying
get up
attention.
and do something.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention.
Right. I'll get on TikTok real quick. I'll do it because if you're going to do picture-in-picture, and I know this is not the way you pay the ads, put the fucking ad in the corner and still let your commentary go. Yeah. And I know that's not the way commercials work. I understand. Communications degree over here. I completely understand. I don't hear them. I'm out.
Right. Well, and to that point, it's like, I don't hear them. When I'm look at the action, it's basically rest holds and just, we're getting to our end of our break, then we're going to pick it up again. Because that's what happens at normal TV shows.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, we're getting through something. AEW used to be like, oh, there's shit happening during picture-in-picture, and you better watch.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Straight up, it's, okay, we're just doing the bare minimum, we'll get through it, and then we'll get back to the actual match.
But it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love the Crucifix win. Again, just Brian finding ways to win now all of a sudden.
Escaping with victories.
That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Willow and Renee talking about stats. Life's been miserable, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Briscoe. Man, you're right. I need Briscoe. What do they call themselves? The culmination, the compilation, the communication. Briscoe, O'Reilly, and Shibata.
Was it Shibata?
No, it's not Shibata.
No, he's with Hook. What the fuck is the other one? It doesn't matter.
Orange. Oh,
Orange. Yeah, Orange. Because Orange doesn't talk, so we didn't think about Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need all of them to follow me around. Like, Briscoe just talking about almost winning the TNT title, then it was Shark Week. Like, I could never care about Shark Week in my life, but I'm like, oh my god, he starts talking about blood and guts, and then we find out, da-da-da-da-da. I'm not excited right now for blood and guts. Have it be Elite against the AEW team that we're getting.
Well, right now it looks like it's going to be at least Briscoe and the Acclaimed. It's not really sending up flags that this is the greatest thing.
Blood and Briscoe's so far the only. Well, I'm not talking about the Acclaimed. Matt and Nicholas will bleed. I don't know if Ada's gonna. Their fifth member may. Acclaimed, I don't think is bleeding unless they throw us off. And they really do something. And I'm not saying it's on regular TV.
Yeah.
So sometimes it doesn't happen. So far, Briscoe is the only one on that side.
And here's where I'm at. Because I think we know the world champion's going to end up in this. And I'm going to tie together the later segment where the wild card, basically, Paige, accosted Nicholas and said, I'm not elite, I'm not anything, leave me the fuck alone. I'm here to win the Owen. If Swerve's in the match,
right,
Paige is in the match.
Right.
Because if you saw it, we'll bring in the Jeff Jarrett massacre, because that was a massacre in its own right, beating the shit out of somebody. It was so good, but it made Hangman such a heel too, because you just destroyed the guy that was fighting in a tournament for his friend who had passed away 25 years ago.
Yeah.
You came out and absolutely obliterated him in that.
Everybody was on our same page, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think they may have pissed people off by having Jeff either one in this and not doing anything in this, or not getting the whole tournament.
I think
he deserves one Owen.
I would agree, but my thought process is Jeff
the
knew
story that came out of it.
Yeah, this is where I'm going with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is where I'm going with it, because Jeff understand. Okay, I've had my issues with Jeff Jarrett in the past. Anyway, anyone has.
Me and him are buddies, though. So
yeah, I know you and him are buddies, so that you're not gonna like this. But Jeff Jarrett has never been my favorite. But the fact that Jeff Jarrett went out and did business in the name of his friend Owen, knew that it would be better for Hangman to get over as a heel if he just completely ousted him from the tournament in round one. Smart. Absolutely smart.
Fucking destroyed him.
Destroyed him, threw him to the wayside, whatever it was. It's now coming back. Okay, Hangman's got one choice. He wants to win the Owen because he gets Swerve. If you don't think he's taking the shot at Swerve in Blood and Guts, you're absolutely nuts.
Right.
And I don't even think they're going to be the ones fighting for the title in 2 months. And that's probably why he takes the shot at Swerve.
Right.
Which brings it back to what I was trying to say when I first started it. They were fucking screaming Swerve's house at him.
Yeah.
And Hangman looked like he was about to murder whoever said it, whoever started it. Because he asked who started that. Hangman is in such a zone right now.
Yeah, I love it.
I do too.
I
love it. It's
that.
the old West grizzled gunslinger that doesn't not give two shits. He's got one thing on his mind, and it's fucking revenge. And he's going for it right now.
Yeah. And you're right. I don't know if there's going to be a title involved.
Doesn't need to be.
I don't want it to be.
I don't either.
I don't want it to be. We get Tony and Mariah talking about last night, as you guys are listening to this, against Sheeta. That's probably a banger. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
So, wow.
Rampage might actually be something worth watching this week.
What?
I know.
Stat and Willow, man, essentially the same thing we said during the pay-per-view about this. Nothing against Willow. It's all Stat. And listen, this is the second year of the Owen. Last year, Britt made it this far and lost.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's making it this far. I don't know if reigning champions, yes, can be in it. I guess I'm now planning shit. This is like a stepping stone one. Like, have somebody surprise Willow. Like, nothing against Willow that she made it this far. Maybe she shouldn't have. Because now, do you think she's winning again, Jenks?
No, I think they're going to screw her over. I don't even think it's a clean finish for this.
I don't either.
But yet, to your point, you brought up a good point. Second year in a row, the winner falls in the finals.
Get screwed.
Yeah.
Don't rinse and repeat. Because this is something great that we all look forward to. We do. We love this Owen. One, because it's Owen. Two, because it catapults people.
Yeah.
Don't rinse and repeat every year. And they are with the women.
They are. So, hopefully they're not going to next year with who we think is going to be the winner, Mariah.
Right.
We haven't been shy about that.
Not at all.
But I almost wanted to see Stat versus Mariah, but I guess I get it because now the Willow thing, it furthers that storyline.
It does.
And it also makes it a crux of, you're not ready, darling, you're not going to do this, da-da-da-da-da. And I can just imagine what Tony's saying with the darling stuff right now. It's going to make that 10 times bigger in the long run, which is something it needs because, let's be honest, it's a second-tier story somehow behind what's going on.
I know we're bitching about, or I'm bitching about storylines, second tier, this, that, and the other. They're giving them to us, but I'm not saying it's not the ones that we want. They've just been so recent that they're replaying the recency.
Yes, and I think from the perspective of the storylines they're giving us, some of them are not fully thought out.
Wow. No shit, Sherlock.
I know. But when we talk, like, there's elements of Tony and Mariah that aren't, like, clicking there, and then they're clicking, but they're not clicking in the right tones. But then you look at Stat and Willow, it's just falling apart.
Yeah. But then we get the greatest storyline going in AEW.
And it only took 4 days.
Britt talks about the past, present, and future. Talks about having a TIA, which is essentially a mini stroke. She's cleared. She's healthy. She's ready to kick ass. Da-da-da-da-da. Boom. Here comes the CEO. We only need 3 letters in AEW, and it's DMD. Bitches were fucking flying around. Listen, I know we get salty when some of the guys get vulgar or something, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a big piece of shit. It's something when they both just, hey, whatever they say backstage to each other, cool. Just let it fucking go. I'll never hate you in real life. Yada, yada, yada. They both look like they're like, oh, you fucking called me a bitch? You're a bitch. And it just engulfed everything, and this is the first thing I want to see it all in, and it might be the only thing I want to see it all in.
I mean, that's 100% fair. So for this, my train of thought just went away. But let's bring this back. Here it is. We've seen for months upon months the hokiness of the women's storytelling. And it's still happening. You know, Timeless Tony is still a whatever it is. It's entertaining as hell. She's made it entertaining as hell. But now we've gotten down to the sense of realism, and to your point, they might not actually like each other backstage, and they're just going to pop off at each other now.
Yeah.
And it's going to translate to a good TV segment, basically. Great TV. And it's already starting off like that. It has, for the women, it has not had this kind of immediate boom of a send-off for a storyline in a very long time. Yeah. And this storyline was basically like, we know you guys wanted to see it. It's going to happen.
Here's a silver platter.
Here's a silver platter, and we're going to light this gunpowder on fire just so it makes the biggest boom of them all.
And it already did.
It did. It blew up.
Not a prediction yet. Is it Britt the first woman to hold both titles?
I don't know.
Good call.
Because I don't know where they have placed her yet. As the stepping stone or as the dethroner. Because they gave her to Saraya as a stepping stone to reestablish Saraya.
Yep.
I don't think they do that. But I don't know if they'll do that for Mercedes, I should say.
Right. I don't know yet. I mean, there's a couple weeks, months before we get to the rest of this story. Chapter 1 is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see where this goes. But I'm ready. Somebody we didn't talk about last week. You know who else is missing in this division? Our girl.
Yeah.
Julia.
Oh, Julia Hart, yeah. That's a good point.
She
We
went out
haven't
to
seen
get
her in a
married.
while.
Nothing
Yeah.
against her. She went out to get married. She hasn't returned yet because I don't,
But Lee has.
Yeah. So I know. I was all, and I was just thinking like TBS champions did it, and I'm like, oh shit, we forgot, because last week we were like, we need this, we need this, we need this. We need Julia back too.
We do. I totally forgot about her.
Next, we what do we have? Callis talking to Will.
Yeah. The whole, oh, I'll let you go, but you owe me a favor. Bullshit. What's that favor going to be? Is it something stupid? Is it?
Oh, it's a title shot down the line.
Probably.
That was just foreshadowing for a long time out, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're going to forget that he was with Callis for 30 seconds. But he was never with Callis.
Yeah.
Jericho came out with the clipboard. I thought we were getting the fucking list again, by the way.
Just a list of demands.
I thought, did they let the tagline "the list" go? Can he use the list again? Or is he going to call it something else? I'm like, holy fuck, we're going to get the... And then he just had a contract, so I was like, never mind. I kind of didn't care after... And I really didn't care when it was Team Hook against Cage of Agony again.
What a terrible name.
Yeah.
Every time I see these guys, I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not paying attention.
All of them. Like
I do too, but they're fucking jobbers.
Exactly.
They're big jobbers. And they should be dominating.
Yeah. I know. Then we get to the main event.
Yeah, let's get that. I'm going to sit here and bitch about that. Wait, yeah, we talked about Hangman. Okay, yeah.
Danny and Will for the International Championship. I already put what a great night of fucking wrestling on AEW.
Yeah.
MJF comes to the ring. This was perfect. Listen, again, Danny took the loss and a fucking pummeling.
Mm-hmm.
And Garcia's the star of this whole fucking segment.
Garcia stole the match from Ospreay. And I'm not just talking about dancing into his goddamn face.
Right.
5 times. Which was hilarious, nonetheless. But he stole the match because Garcia's a fucking star that is just waiting in the wings at this point. He's learned to come out of his shell. He's learned how to get that
he always could wrestle.
He always could wrestle. He's learned how to get that riz, as the kids say, out there. I know you do. He's gotten so good with the mic and just being able to deliver and talk and do everything. He stole it from Ospreay. He may have lost, but he stole it from Ospreay. And then the fucking shots he was taking.
Him just being a dead fish, letting MJF move him around then, his facials really look like, this is no disrespect, he looked like he was a corpse.
Yeah.
Just a bleeding corpse. And I'm like, dude, I love that MJF beat the shit out of you. I'm sad that you lost the Will. You still won the last half an hour, 45 minutes of the show because of you being a dead fish right now in the ring.
Yeah. Master selling, 101. And then we gave Danny his props, right?
We did.
You know, that audience member, man, he almost had fucking MJF dead to rights at some point.
Did.
Throwing trash at him and then trying to go for him.
What the fuck was that?
Oh. I was like, that guy.
That's pure white heat, though. Like,
yeah.
Listen, there's times that I'm a wrestling fan and I sit back and then I'm like, when shit like that happens, I'm like, do you not know that it's wrestling? you really didn't put connect the dots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 the whole way and you make a fucking snowball or whatever.
Yeah. You
didn't understand where this was going. You were completely invested that MJF was a good guy all of a sudden. Your life has just become, you're ready to fucking die on that cross. I get white heat. I get it. But then I can turn it off like instantly because I'm like, all right, it was a storyline that was fucking awesome. I got that level, but I'm never going to be the guy, garbage, running into the ring. I would love to at one point. Don't get me wrong, I never will. Like, what is that mindset? Where does that mindset take you that you're like,
that's got to be some toxic ass alpha mentality. Because that's all that is. Like, first of all, Bud, I know you think you can take him, but you really probably can't.
You can't.
Plus, I'm sure, and I'm assuming a lot here, but I'm sure you're 5 in, and you're just drunk as a skunk on a Tuesday, and he's gonna level you without a doubt.
Yeah.
That trash didn't get anywhere within 5 feet of you either, and you're fucking flying off the handle. So calm.
The woman in front of him got more of the trash than he did.
Agreed. This guy was more upset because the trash was in his general direction than when the woman who had her son's pop thrown at him by MJF
loved it.
Loved it.
Not washing her clothes ever again.
She loved everything that happened there, but this guy had trash thrown within 3 feet of him, and he was losing his shit.
I don't know if I've ever got there as a wrestling fan, I mean.
I've never. I've gotten pit. I've seen Sheamus win Money in the Bank live, and that was just pissed me off to all hell, but I didn't try to storm the ring from the nose section.
Walking down the fucking aisle like Vince.
Walking Vince's power walk. So I just didn't. But my God.
AEW has one hell of a leg up this week on WWE. Listen, because we're going to go to WWE here in a minute. We're going to talk about SmackDown, Raw, and things happened. And we'll power through those to get to our predictions, essentially. But Forbidden Door 4, great pay-per-view, great matches, Dynamite unfucking believable.
Yeah,
I'll say unfucking believable. WWE has to answer tonight. They have to answer tonight. Otherwise, this whole week goes to AEW. You want to split because I don't know if they can steal any.
Well, and here's the thing. I think they're banking on Money in the Bank tonight to be the show stealer because of the 2 ladder matches that involved. I don't think you can put all your money on any of the other matches happening, which is, they're going to be decent.
There might be some surprises.
But your money has to be on what happens in the ladder matches.
This is, Forbidden Door is a big pay-per-view for AEW. Money in the Bank, 5th, possibly 4th. We'll play that game. 4th or 5th for WWE. But Money in the Bank builds for SummerSlam. Remember that as we move forward.
This whole year, SummerSlam has finally been built up to be something special.
Take a quick break. We'll be back to talk WWE for the week. Kind of like a round table, essentially. And then we'll give you predictions for tonight's Money in the Bank from Toronto, one of our favorite cities here on Can Crushers.
Hey y'all, I'm CC Young. You're listening to Can Crushers. Don't you change the station. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. We're hunting for answers and Money in the Bank and our predictions, but there's other hunting going on inside my house while we're talking. Mark,
Wait. Is hunting for answers? That kind of sounds like one? And I'm not stealing your story because I have no fucking clue. What you're telling me.
Yeah.
No, that can't be the intro. That can't be the title. Something's got to be Forbidden Door and Money in the Bank if that's where you're kind of hunting around.
I wasn't going for that.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going for that there. We're hunting for predictions right now.
I'm hunting for a Bengal.
You're hunting for a Bengal.
I'm just a dad playing video games.
Just a dad playing video games. In my house, so there was 2 booms during the last segment. One, assholes outside throwing off fireworks.
Sweet.
On dot. Knew it.
Didn't hear it, so you must.
I heard it. I heard that, and then I heard the dogs barking. The first one that happened before that, I didn't hear. Apparently, we're in here. Kimberly's like, watching, Bailey gets on the bed, acting really weird. And she's like, what's going on here? Like, in the dog bed in the living room. She's like, what's going on here? And she's like, got her snoot up the curtain and sniffing, got a weird neck going on. And then all of a sudden, bam! On the window. She's chasing a fly. She's hunting flies in the living room. So, choking Mark here. So then, it was a little bit. There was a little one. So then there was another time. Kimberly's watching. All of a sudden, she just sees Bailey start stalking like a fucking mountain lion getting ready to pounce on its prey. Just sees her just creeping. All of a sudden, beelines at the window and hits it with her mouth open to get this fly. Doesn't get it. Eventually,
0 for 2.
0 for 2. We think she went 1 for 3 because at some point the buzzing stopped and she had taken her mouth and went across the window trying to bite this thing. And so we think she finally got it at one point.
And Charlie's sitting there. What the hell is wrong with
Charlie got a show and he was watching it.
Well, why do we have a window licker in the house, Dad?
Well, I can't explain that. I can't explain.
And Kimberly's basking in the glory watching this whole thing happen.
She was laughing her ass off because of this.
I think you guys, and I mean this out of love and everything, just need to get one of those cameras that are on TikTok that record for like 12 hours and just play it. It'll probably be on America's Funniest Shit.
Fun story. I got one through work. Because we have a points program, whatever, and you get stuff. So I got a Ring one for the indoor. I said, hey, I got this one, we can watch the dogs and all that. Kimberly was like, I'm not a fan. She goes, I don't want to do that. It wasn't because watching dogs. She's like, I just don't want to be on camera 24/7, video, whatever. So I got rid of it. Fast forward, we find out that there's capability on it to disable the camera, apparently. So
when you're
you
home.
wouldn't be when you're home. Didn't know because I didn't do much research outside of I got this camera to set up.
I bought it and I set it up.
And I gave it away, so obviously that's what it is at this point. But these 2 yahoos, whether they're bitching at the neighbors as they walk by or whatever it is, it's one thing after another.
And neither one of us would change it for
anything.
Because, listen, in that 30-second break that you guys hear, it is normally like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
On our side, because just as Jenks sits down normally to hit the record button and we're ready to go, mine come barreling that they were asleep for 9 minutes. All right, we're ready to go. Yeah, let's get our ducks in a row. We're going to talk about this. Here mine come. They have to 1, 2, both, whatever. This is insignificant from yours trying to catch a fly.
But still.
Max is outside. There's a bird on the other side of the neighbor's house. And I'm not trying to top you, but just literally on the other side of the neighbor's house. He shoots out of the door like he's going to catch it from, honestly, like 150 feet away. Dude. slow your roll. It's a bird. In 2 seconds, it will be off the ground, and you're not going to do anything about that.
Oh, yeah.
So corral them back in. Then the neighbors, who love our dogs, by the way, God bless them. They try not to come outside when they're outside, but it happens just because. Because Max is a bully and Miggy just loves too much. They fucking come outside unexpectedly knowing that we're outside. Well, it's fucking WrestleMania for Max. That's what happens in our 30-second commercial breaks or spots or promos that you hear.
Always fun and excitement.
Nothing
Fun never ends.
Nothing is seamless on this podcast. Nothing.
Mark just does great editing to make it seem that way.
Sure. On the WWE, though, because they have a pay-per-view, as we still like to call them.
What do you mean? I don't know what a pay-per-view is.
What did you take out of the week? Because let's just do this, because there was I got the hiccup. I got the hiccups now because, one, I put a new chew in, and I took a big gulp as I did it, so... Still a lot of money in the bank qualifiers, still a lot of this, still a lot of that. So let's do the week in general, and I'll let you go first, as I'm trying to get rid of these hiccups.
Okay. Well, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't go to the biggest fucking thing that happened. The wise man doesn't acknowledge Solo, and Paul Heyman is taking fucking bumps at 58 years old.
I also want to give a shout out to the beginning of SmackDown. Local Pittsburgh boy, the Neon Ninja, was the first one in the ring and got decimated from Randy Orton.
Yeah. I mean,
that RKO was... I don't know if you're going to see Neon Ninja on a match card in the next couple of weeks.
I want to know who the one that took the fucking Crossroads was.
He was spiked straight on his head.
Spiked straight on his head. He sold that better than anybody in the company has ever sold it.
Right? But to get to your point, the acknowledgement, holy shit. By the way, Paul Heyman is unbelievable at his character. We've known.
Yeah.
Last week he still looked alive. All right. And I know you don't shave for a week. You can put Visine in. You can look frumpy dumpy. He can make that like he just did, insert any drug because we don't know, for 6 months, and he just looked like he was on an addiction of whatever, dancing on a corner in Florida.
Yeah. Oh
Bath salts is what I was thinking about. Bath salts, that just came out. Not throwing everybody under the bus in Florida, by the way. But if you know, you know. Paul is so fucking good at that.
Gave up sleep. He was fucking... Bud, yeah, I feel like he's just going to be... that... I didn't know how to encapsulate what I saw. Because it was such good acting. Or, well, I guess it's not acting if you're living it, right? And you're just like, I gotta go on TV and just be this fucking schmuck for a day. But the way he sold every single element of it has been chef's kiss over the past, since WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
He's looked disheveled, he's looked scared, he's looked frightened, he's looked everything under the sun, and last night it looked like the culmination of he has just had the worst 3 months of his God-forsaken life. In his life flashed before his eyes.
So let me now ask you this, because you were the first one to put this in my mind. Is Paul with the new bloodline? Or is... You brought it...
I brought it up. I know I brought it up, but I can't believe he is.
Not anymore.
No.
If they didn't do what they did last Friday, I'd say okay.
Yeah, but they obliterated Paul Heyman. Like, you've obliterated the wise man. You've given the actual tribal chief a reason to come back.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't had to come back. You guys have been fighting out of the family, whatever. But now you've attacked.
Happen.
Yeah.
More later.
Yeah. You've attacked the wise man, the consigliere of this group. Wow. You're not.
Wow, big fucking word for Can Crushers.
Listen, man, he watched a lot of Godfather growing up. He learned some things.
Not being a dick. Otherwise, that was the meat and potatoes of SmackDown. Tiffy advances because Jade gets knocked out. Pretty Deadly's back.
Yeah.
Naomi advances.
We had some NBA players show up.
Yeah.
That's the reaction I thought I was going to get out of that. So I got what I came here for. All right.
Go ahead. Go to Raw.
What do you want to start on Raw? Because, I mean, I'll start right with the Howdy shtick.
Yeah.
Because the tape.
I don't think there's another place. These hiccups are kicking my ass. I apologize, but
they are. But the tape, great. See, now I can't go with what I want to go here. I'm going to go to the lighting, and we'll go back to the tape. I think. Let's talk about following Chad Gable around the arena and just each of the characters ominously being put into the spotlight.
Again, production number one.
100%. Number one understands how to set the aurora of the room. You know, how to set that aura of, this needs to be creepy
as fuck
without fail. They need to show why this is very serious for Mr. Gable.
I did read this week that the Wyatt Six are not going to have supernatural powers. But then I read that they may. Like, there's conflicting stories out there right now as they may not be as powerful as Bray was. They're more dastardly is a word that I'll throw from the past. They're more methodical. They're ruthless. Bray was all those. But he had that superhuman thing as well. I'd be all right if they are, and I know this is probably not the right word, but again, you guys know how shit gets in my brain and I can't get it out. Like a mercenary group. You know, they're not the Shield, they're not the AOP that's going to wear stuff like that, but they are going to take victims by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Steel Nation of Domination either, by the way. Shout out to them. But I just think there is going to be blood, guts, and gore around them. And I don't think you need the supernatural with them.
No, you need the horror element vibes. They've given them the horror element vibe. Horror. Horror. They've given them the scary movie vibe, so I don't have to go down that path again. Which is perfect, because if you think about this, a lot of scary movies, it's about that suspense. It's about that terror, that anticipation of something to come.
Terror is probably the best word there. I love that, by the way.
Yeah. So for the Wyatt Six, it's Bray supernaturally. He had a terror element, but he was the entertainment with the supernatural to bring it all together. Wyatt Six needs to be this very terrifying, creepy, bludgeoning type mentality here. And I think that's where they're going to be best suited.
I don't care, and this is mean, I don't mean it anything mean towards Nikki. If Nikki just comes out and brings us presents every week, the way that she does it, of just dropping off a Prime box or an old VHS or whatever, that is so great that she's doing it. Now, I'm not being sexist or anything like that, because she has, go back to Sanity.
Yeah.
Way back.
Mm-hmm.
She has that deranged, I'm going to fuck you up look. And it fits. It's just, listen, all the other ones, when they take their masks off and wrestle, if they do, Dexter's a good-looking guy. Rowan's got an amazing beard.
Third.
Gacy's Gacy.
Yep.
Bo's honestly a good-looking human being. Okay? Nothing, I was just going to sound mean. Nikki just looks disheveled and just left on the corner sometimes. For her to be all of that every week, yes.
We gave Paul Heyman props. Let's give it to Nikki.
Yeah.
Nikki's acting has always been on par.
She made a fucking superhero cool.
She did. Nikki ASH should have been frying her dead in the water, and eventually it got to that point. But when it first came out, it was kind of fucking cool. She won Money in the Bank. It was kind of like, holy shit, this is kind of, okay, good job,
Hokey
Nikki.
but fun.
Hokey but fun. Let's do it. She knows the timing. She knows the rhythm. She knows how to play that perfectly. And I think she understands the importance of the character that she's playing. Because the other guys, they're great callbacks, they're very terrifying, they're big, they're brooding, they're over the top. Her character has to be the very much the ring-esque girl, bringing something to the ring, very much the deliverer, the messenger, the scariest part of this without being the bludgeoning, brooding, big individual.
Nikki's persona right now is what we wanted out of Alexa Bliss with Bray.
And Bliss, unfortunately, due to leadership at the time, I think was stuck with a more child-like possession.
Yep. Let's just loop all of Judgment Day together.
Okay.
Dom's still kicking ass and taking names. Love that.
Living his best life.
Living his best life. I thought about putting essentially the same picture up again of Dom and Liv doing the same thing they did 2 weeks ago, but I'm like, people will get tired of me showing Liv and Dom doing it all the time.
Yeah.
It really isn't about Liv and Dom. It really isn't. Finn's hooking up with her here in the near future.
It's a smokescreen. It's been smoke and mirrors the whole time.
It's so good. Like, there's a lot going on in WWE right now, which is so good.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not getting a ton of matches on their shows. We're not even going to lie about that.
Yeah.
They are giving us the meat and potatoes of the matches on their pay-per-views.
Yep.
Which you're doing great. You're getting this, you're getting that, you're getting whatever. And I'm not saying throwaway matches, but throwaway matches on TV. They're all about stories right now, and they're fucking clicking on all of them.
Yeah. Well, we've said this in the past. WWE is the entertainment story piece. AEW is the wrestling piece. You're going to get both on both shows, but their mastery is in one or the other. It's like when we talk, I'm bringing it back, guys. When we talk about NCAA 25, you can be a tactician, you can be a motivator, you can be a person that can go out and recruit hella good. You're going to specialize in one thing, and I'm not going to say lack in the other, but you're going to be better in one thing than the other.
Yeah.
You're going to click on a lot of things, but there's going to be some things that drop off. That's just the name of the game right now. WWE understands its money, its potatoes is in the story. AEW understands its money in what sells its company is in the professional wrestling. The actual in-ring competition.
Yeah. And
it's working perfectly.
I've never, this week I didn't fast forward anything. Late, and I watched all 29 hours of everything this week. And I was like, I want more. I don't say that a lot. Both of them are on highs right now because of the thing. They really are. I enjoyed the Liv and Vega match. Again, I will always wave the flag for Vega. to get a reign of some point, because when she does get her showcase matches, which aren't a lot, she fucking brings it. I want to say love because I throw that out there too much, but I really enjoyed Liv and Vega, even with the chicanery that happened in this.
Oh yeah, we talked about Vega being underrated, and until Liv Long Day, she was underrated a long time ago when she was just manager for Andrade.
Right.
I think we have to also give props to Malachi Black, her husband, because he has definitely given her ways to do new things, the psychology piece of it, how to step up, how to do this, how to do that. And I'm not taking that away from Zelina. I'm just saying that she has found a way to hone her skills so well in the past couple months that even though she's more seen as the manager or the valet for the LWO in that, when she gets her time to shine, she takes it and she takes a big step with it.
Yeah.
And I think she needs to get that more. She has to have that opportunity more because she's just not another face in the LWO. She's an actual competitor that can do great things for the company itself.
She's more important than a lot of the LWO in my books.
I would say outside of Ray, she is.
Yeah. Speaking of which, man, I really didn't want Ray and Dom on this match. Listen, this was just like, no, this is not going to be another WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
I know chaos ensues in this and Ray gets the win after all of everything, but they're throwing away the Ray and Dom story. They're slowly trying to. We're not letting them because we want it to be something in time. But I think WWE is saying, listen, we're going to throw it away right before two big segments on Raw.
Counter that. Counter that.
Good.
Because I think we didn't get it this year. This is their way of giving it to us this year. They were like, in their minds, they have combined this into, okay, Ray versus Dom is something we can lend on and not give week to week, month to month. Because they got to pull the trigger on Ray and Dom 3 months ago on live TV. After WrestleMania, before WrestleMania, to build up WrestleMania. I think they've strategically placed it here because they know, okay, Zelina is the match to get Liv some sort of title defense in between segments, between her big matches. But it's also a way to kind of tie back in everything that's happening with Dom and everything that's happening with Ray. This now, in the future, puts it on Dom to say, the last time you faced me, there was so much shit happening. You didn't really get the win on me. Give me a shot. Give me another chance. Because the ultimate end game is it's going to be Dom and Ray.
I hope.
For Dom to get over. So I think for them to give it as a match on Raw was more or less, okay, we want to get them at least another match on paper that Ray wins at this point, to kind of infuriate Dom some more because Dom's distracted. Dom's not paying attention. Match 1, Dom's playing stupid kid games. Match 2, Dom's distracted because he's got Liv in one corner. Mommy's getting injured. Trying to come back from an injury, and he's flirting around with Liv. Tom, Dick, and Harry are coming down and fucking interfering in his matches. So then match 3, it's a more mature Dom coming out of it and challenging Ray for the throne of Mysterio at that point.
Okay. We'll see.
It could just be an incoherent rambling, but it could not be. It could be, could not be. We'll see.
Sammy gets decimated from Braun. Good segment.
Yeah.
Leaks the little things, I think. Drew qualifies, which we knew. Let's not sugarcoat that.
But we're giving this fucking thing away? You want to talk about wasting a match on pay-per-view, on a free TV? Dragunov, Sheamus, and fucking Drew
Yeah.
on live TV. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a throwaway.
That, yeah.
I will say this, that fucking TikTok edit they did with all the matches spots.
Yeah.
Production. Fantastic.
Yeah. And Rollins and Priest come out, yada, yada, yada. Finn gets involved. That'll lead to our predictions, right?
Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Prediction time for Money in the Bank?
Prediction time. Let's do it. Am I defending, or what do you need to lick your wounds?
Probably need to lick my wounds.
Okay, so.
I do. I got beat up pretty bad this week.
Alright, so this is straight up. We have, for nothing, I think we just have the 5 matches that have been announced. I'm trying to get somewhere that tells me that.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I hate WWE site, by the way. That's a different story for a different time. Alright, we'll get it from the wiki. Alright. Alright, let's start with... Let's do the 6-man tag to shake things up a bit. Let's do the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, KO, versus the brutal bloodline of Solo, Tama, and Tonga, Jacob. It's 3 of those 4.
All of them.
It's all of them, but
I'm taking a bloodline.
I'm taking a bloodline too. I just didn't know. There's no way they're not putting them over.
Right. This is building them up for essentially Cody and Solo I was going to say WrestleMania, at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
A big win. I potentially think Cody may take the loss in this too.
I think it could. I think Solo's going to pin Cody, yeah, because they need to tell that story. I think Jacob's going to do something, going to brutalize Cody, and then Solo takes the pin.
So, I hinted, and I don't think it's at Money in the Bank, because I think Paul should not be around. I don't think it's time yet. When does Roman Reigns come back? In your mind, when's Roman return? Because that's big talk right now.
My thought has always been SummerSlam.
I'm nodding my head. I was going to let you say more words, but yes.
I can't think of how to formulate more words, because why would I? I think it's SummerSlam. I don't know yet how that match plays out. I think Cody's going to win it, but I think Roman has to come out and make a statement in it, and it's not to help Cody. I think it's after the match somehow.
Yes, that's where my...
Cody escapes with it, and
but
then the bloodline... Yeah, exactly. Bloodline attacks.
And then Paul, looking healthier with Roman, makes his way. So are we saying that's the way SummerSlam ends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't even get to the ring. He just walks out, and I forget what Cleveland Brown Stadium's called. Nor do I care, because I'm a Steelers fan. I don't expect physicality at SummerSlam between the new bloodline and Roman. He does essentially, I think, what Britt did to Mercedes this past weekend.
Yeah.
Comes out, hi guys! And then we get so much more the following week on SmackDown.
Yep. Because they live to tell the story on the week-to-week shows.
Yeah. With Paul in tail, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Intercontinental title match. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. This is Braun.
It really is.
There's no way Sami's leaving with the title.
1,000%. and I know Toronto is not his hometown. WWE is notably good for doing this. Toronto is his hometown for the night.
Yeah.
They're not going back to Canada again for a while. Canada's his home, yada, yada, yada. They don't give wins there. I don't care. Look at the fucking whole history of it. Braun's being built up for so much more. This is a healthy, I think, IC title run.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking Gunther run.
Right.
We're not talking that. But this is healthy to see. Okay, let's see how everybody likes Braun as IC champion. It's that title, you know.
Yeah.
Can we put the main championship on Braun in a year or two? Will they take it?
Yeah.
Ready? I'm losing shit on Braun. I'm getting the Lesnar. I'm getting the Goldberg feels. I'm getting the push too much. I'm losing it on Braun Breaker. I don't want this, even with Sammy being a 30-second match. And I don't think it will be. But I don't want it to be a major squash to get his first title, because then you have a lot of building on me for Braun to give two shits about.
I think they'll be very strategic not to let that happen. Because they haven't they've let him run amok. But he's not, when he's wrestling, it's not as cut and dry. You know what I mean? It's more, there's more to it. Not a fucking Lesnar coming in, boop, he's gone, German him out of the ring. Up 14 suplexes later, he's world champion. And it's not a Goldberg spear jackhammer.
Done.
Go home. With Braun, I think they recognize, okay, he can be the powerhouse and he can get the best of people, but when he's contained in a ring, he has to be somewhat coherent. He can't just be this bull that bounces around wall to wall, trying to hit people at 21 miles per hour.
This is why I wish we would have video once in a while.
Yeah, just me going like this.
Doing the ball to ball.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious. So, but I get your point. I get your concern. I don't think they'll go down that route. Even if they push him, even to say this is a squash, I think there's so much meat and potatoes behind him and so much more to him than just a brawling brute that eventually he will win you over, right? I think you would recognize that it's not the same down the line.
I hope.
Maybe not now, but down the line, especially when he runs into Gunther, it's going to be a totally different ball game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you will before WrestleMania, right?
I think so.
You would think.
Maybe. You would think.
It would.
But who knows?
Yeah, because I don't know. We'll see. All right, next one.
Maybe he's too busy running people out of the ring at the Rumble. Anywho, let's do the last chance match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Damian Priest, the champion, versus Seth freaking Rollins. If Priest wins, Rollins can't challenge while Damian's the champion again. But if Rollins wins, Priest must leave Judgment Day. Mark?
Thank you for saving the Money in the Banks for last. I didn't know you were going to do that. I thought maybe you would bookend them, but thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's where our talk's going to be. I think this is Seth. I think this has Seth written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you brought it up last week, saying that Seth and Gunther is a match that they wanted. Damian was kind of a placeholder for a hot second. As he's at a U.S. championship. He's had to see if maybe Priest not ever be the guy. And I hate to say that because Punishment Martinez, my cousin, is amazing. I love him. He's not the face when you have Cody and you have Seth even without a title or anything like that. But he's solidified now as a main eventer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not in that mid-tier. I think this title reign did that for him. I don't think the title reign's been the greatest whatsoever, but I think that you see the writing on the wall of, as much as nobody says it lives in the Judgment Day, Liv being involved in the Judgment Day, there was one thing that said on Monday, we all have championships. Even Liv has a championship. Foreshadowing much?
No.
You're not going to have a championship, and you're going to the wayside. And again, nothing against Seth. Money match is Seth and Gunther that we probably wanted for a while. This is a transition, so we don't make Damian Priest drop instantly, losing to Gunther. He still has that level.
No.
Seth cannot lose that level, losing to James Ellsworth, essentially.
Yeah.
So I have Rollins.
Yeah. I have Rollins too. The bar, Seth is the bar right now with wrestling on Raw. I think it's not as clean as we think it is. I think Rollins doesn't get a clean victory because I think fucking Finn would cost Damian Priest the spot in Judgment Day. This is the plan.
Because he wants to
fortune. Exactly. He has the opportunity to cost him the spot.
He took the way back. He took the leadership away from Edge.
Yep.
Ran with it, invited people in. Mommy had it. Finn's really never had it. Let's just call it fate.
Exactly.
And he's pissed about it.
And he wants it now.
Because he's a tag team champion, which
exactly
loves tag team champions.
Oh, yeah, 100%. What do you mean? It's their favorite championship in the world.
Right?
I think Vince costing Damian the championship, and it's going to be the end game for him. We get the transition for Seth because, to your point about Damian losing his step with Gunther, nobody wants to see Gunther and Damian.
No. And the Judgment Day lose the tag titles by SummerSlam. And we're getting Finn against Damian as one of the matches.
Oh, at SummerSlam, 100%. Yeah. And then
I don't know who they're going to lose it to.
Awesome Truth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard Shayna and Zoe are doing pretty well, too.
For the men's tag title.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
They're not giving them the women's, so. Anyways, alright.
Go men first.
Let's do men's. Okay, we'll do men's first. I think we might agree on the women's, to be honest. Well, maybe. We'll get there. Men's. Money in the Bank ladder match. Jey Uso. Carmelo Hayes. Andrade. Chad Gable. LA Knight. Or Drew McIntyre. I realize I'm the first pick in this one. In this convoluted mess of just people with fucking backstories coming into this shit. People with drama coming into this shit. Jay.
The whole mess.
The whole mess. I mean, you've got LA Knight who's got Logan Paul on his ass. You have Drew McIntyre whose Pepsi Phil is going to be somewhere in Toronto for that fun. Gable has a whole 6 group coming after him ready to murder him again. Carmelo just shat on everybody in a press conference on Friday afternoon.
Yep.
And then you have Jey Uso, who's having a yeet off with anybody that can have and trying to get as far away from the Fireflies so he doesn't get caught in the crossfire.
But he's still linked to them.
He's still linked to them, yes. So
pick your winner from this.
This is where this is where you have to pick who is the least drama-filled individual in this field. And I know I didn't name one person. I don't expect him to win it, though.
I don't either.
Andrade, you're the city champion. You're not. Give me Jey Uso. I just feel like they're going to put it on him. and then have all this other hokey-ass, convoluted bullshit happen around the Money in the Bank. It's going to come down to a 3-man ladder match.
I hope that this is first.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because there's going to be so much shit around. It's not going to be first. I will.
It'll probably be last, to be honest.
Probably. Because there's so much shit around it. Drew's not winning because Punk's showing up.
Yeah.
Gable's getting taken out. He won't be in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's in the match, but he's all out of the match.
Yeah.
It's Jay. Listen, we love Carmelo. We love him. Even you give it to him and you're like, all right, fuck, we'll figure something out in 6 to 7 months. Just let him hanging around with it for a while. I don't think that writing's even in pencil yet.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get it, I think, at one point. He's going to be amazing. He is amazing, all of that. Listen, I'd love the big Andrade. This would be awesome. Fuck, he's in the same boat. Like, I think he needs to get a U.S. championship or an IC championship to see if WWE cares about him anymore. They brought him back over just for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be Jay. I don't.
Either.
But it doesn't need to be Drew. He's got way too much going on.
Yeah.
I think just by default, we both have to pick Jay. I know you already said Jay. I think we just have to let maybe something play out bloodline-ish for a minute. And that, I don't know if the Money in the Bank for the men is going to be anything this year. It's going to be a crazy match, but I'm just saying down the line, I can't see any one of these people in this match, besides Drew, and I hate to say it that way, sniffing a title shot. But he's got way much more. He doesn't need to be around the title picture for 6 to 7 months.
Yeah. My thought, I got two things on this. I think LA Knight is the other front runner. Yeah, there you go. Is the other front runner on this. Honestly, Logan may miss out, or they make the SummerSlam match, you put your briefcase on the line versus my title and get the title that way. So then it's Logan Paul going for Money in the Bank at SummerSlam, LA Knight going for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. Winner take all. Imagine that kind of fucking...
It just has me wanting to put a bullet in it right now. I hate that.
But that could be an avenue they go with it. On the flip side, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on Andrade. He's been walking around. He's been tranquilo, just walking around talking to this person, that person, politicking backstage. You can play it up as you will.
And I wouldn't hate any of that. He's just the bottom of the barrel in this match.
Here's the thing. Yeah, he's bottom of the barrel, but listen, let me talk this through. Okay, you play him up as the politicking jackass, if you will. Just a politicker. He's going to politic his way through things. Politic this way. Okay, he's got this title shot, so now he's politicked his way up the card a little bit here, and they actually give him a run of just building himself up, right? Jose the assistant's doing jack shit right now. He's not doing anything. He got fired. Bring him in. He's carrying the briefcase around while Andrade's walking around with his hands folded in a suit and tie, just kind of walking around. The man has mob boss vibes.
He does.
Without it being the family in NXT, he can live the aura of being a main event player without doing too much. So would it surprise me if they do it? No.
When do you actually think, because that is instantly a sort of character change and everything for him then. That means he's carrying this for after WrestleMania again. Because
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not before Survivor Series.
right.
But if Cody's involved, let's say it's a War Games for the Bloodline, Cody's involved in that, Cody's been decimated. Tranquilo can walk out, cash in, by just putting his foot on him. And then he just wipes it off and walks away.
Andrade heavyweight champion until Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then reset.
Reset it all.
I guess I would listen. I love Andrade. I'm looking at him right now. Not him personally, but I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't. That would be the biggest swerve in this whole thing.
I agree. Wouldn't surprise me though.
Moving on. Perfect together so far.
Our main event.
Our main event.
Not what the main event will be. All right, the women's Money in the Bank. Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark. Who is your women's Money in the Bank?
I'm so angry. I'm so angry about this. Because everybody is finally catching up to us. Everybody is saying it would be Chelsea because it just fits. We have said this 10 fucking months ago, and that worries me. Because last week I said it will be a picture of Chelsea and then our logo once she wins the championship. Then I thought, and I did some research on this, and it's really going to piss me off. I am going to write for myself Chelsea in pen. I don't want you to say anything yet. Chelsea is written down for me. So I will take Chelsea. When she cashes in, she's not going to win because she will be the first woman never to get it cash in. Don't get me wrong. If Tiffy wins it too, I'm not saying those are my two picks. Chelsea is my pick. We have not had a woman not get it off a cash in. Wouldn't it fit Chelsea 100%? Doesn't damage her whatsoever. It's good. She can hang on to it longer than 30 fucking seconds as of every other woman that's ever had it. Tiffy wins it, which I think Tiffy should as well. It puts a skyrocket. There's so many things you can do with Tiffy, but Tiffy can get there herself. Tiffy is there herself, essentially. I think there's also being built in a Tiffy against her friend right now of Naya, say whenever. Chelsea wins. Chelsea's going to be the first woman not to get it. And that's on her resume. And it doesn't hurt her. It makes her even more of a Karen, and it fits her fucking storyline. And it makes me so mad that I won't be able to put a picture of Chelsea up in our logo because that is now in my head, and that's what's going to happen.
Damn.
I dreaded this pick all week because I now know.
I will say this. Chelsea was my pick coming into this conversation until you just spat all that at me. I love that. That's going to happen probably. For the sake of differentiating us, I'm going to go Tiffany.
And I won't hate that.
I won't hate it either. Yeah. I'm solely going for it to differentiate us because I wanted to go Kelsey. And I think that's the perfect story for her. I think she's going to get it fluky. Like, it's going to fall into her lap.
She's Otis getting it.
Yeah, she's Otising this. But maybe
running with it for months.
Yeah. And then
I honestly could see her losing it at WrestleMania. Like whoever the match is, she tries cashing in on Rhea and Jade. Let's just throw that out there. I don't know the matches. After the match, both big behemoth women in there, and I don't mean that mean. She's like, I can fucking take one of these two. She comes in, she's decimated. Jade gets the title. And Chelsea, over. I was fucking screwed. It continues her Karen.
Yep. Yeah.
She gets her WrestleMania moment by being shit stomped.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good one.
And it hurts. It
does. It's okay.
Rubbing her tattoo right now. I will still go crazy when she wins it tonight, whenever you guys are listening. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Too many people picked Chelsea to win this. So I'm like, why is everybody picking Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Then I'm like, I need to do something. Nobody's not one.
Yeah. And they're not going to have Io win it again. And Lyra's not going to get this title shot.
Zoe's in to do cool things.
Yeah. Naomi at
the
this
legend
point.
In it.
Yeah. Honestly, Lyra is the dark horse of the hour. They've been hyping her up. She just hasn't won anything.
Right.
But, I don't know.
That would be... Honestly, Lyra winning it would be the shock for me.
Yeah.
But it would also mean one thing for me at WrestleMania.
Becky.
That they've had talks and Becky will be back by WrestleMania.
Mania. That's fair. Because then you put over Lyra.
Tiffy can take it from anybody. It could be fun. It would be Tiffy time. I would like that. Zoe's going to be a hard stretch for me, honestly. Listen, I don't mean this mean. Naomi is just... She's had 4 shots against Bayley in the last 2 months as friends.
Yeah.
I know she's been screwed over each time.
But she's had the shots.
She had the shots. You're mad now. I'm glad you're mad, because this is what I've been stewing at since Wednesday, that fucking Chelsea's going to get this and lose it.
Yeah. That sucks. It's going to be great TV. But... It will.
For the months that she has this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be... This is going to be hokey with her. This is going to be chicanery. It's going to be...
Oh, 100%.
Whoever if she tries cashing in on Rhea kicks her in the face before she can cash in.
Yeah.
Fucking thing goes flying. This is going to be the comedy Money in the Bank this year. We'll love it, but the end all, my girl is the first woman who doesn't win on a cash in.
But let's throw this out there. Well, no, there's no way. There's no match on tonight that would be a women's title match. This is literally the only women's expo of the night.
It is.
Okay. Hey, fuck it. Maybe she wins it in like a hotel room or something.
Right. That's it. I'm ready for Money in the Bank.
We all are. We're grasping for it.
What do you got going on this week, my fine friend?
Going through the door to cash in on... Just got some parties this weekend. The niece is turning officially a teenager on Sunday. So, 13. Big numbers there. It's going to a couple shindigs tomorrow. Nothing big. And then...
That might be the longest title we've ever had, by the way, going through the action.
Then, I know. We can modify that at some point. Then during the week, it's not really anything crazy going on. I feel like there's something, probably nothing major. What about you? What do you got going on?
I have 2 interviews set up for the week. prepping for. Couple weeks. Yep, that's about it.
Huh?
Maybe cut the grass again. Maybe. I like not cutting your grass. I don't know how you are. I wonder how many people listen to this nonsense at the end of the show, by the way. I like not cutting the grass, but once every 2 weeks. I don't care how fucking tall it is. I scalp it each time. I don't like grass. Not that I don't like it. My grass does not need to be, Home and Gardens. It's out there. You know what my grass is used for? The dogs to shit in it.
That's fair. I try to do it when it's summertime. It's every 2 weeks because it dies and it doesn't get that long. But when it's fucking springtime around here, it's so wet. The ground is so wet. It's fucking up to your knees by like week's end. You have to cut it 1 to 2 times a week to just fucking survive.
We're out of that though now.
We are out of that, and it just naturally happens because it's just dry here. It's every 2 weeks. It's like standard around here. So, yeah, you're not alone in that.
This is going to be a dad playing games.
Dad playing games.
That's all.
While going through the forbidden door to cash a check.
It's getting worse. We'll come up with it off air. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage can not. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.
Whoop whoop.